talk cars. Let's talk about this 1972 Chevelle built by City Classic Cars. Thank you, Mr. Tony, for letting us cradle your dream, build your dream. It starts with you. It starts with the owner. And so Mr. Tony comes and say, hey, man, I got a Chevelle. I want to do some stuff with it. And we look at the Chevelle, we talk about it, and it begins to expand. Then he says, I want a big boy car. I might not do this again. I want a car I want a car. So then he spends time with Carol. They go through the discovery process, and they have that time, they have that moment. He's pouring out the vision, he's pouring out the dream. Then we look at it, and I meet with him, and we talk. I said, we got to go big boy style. And we can go kind of big boy style, we can go LS3. We can go big boy style, we can go LS7. Or we can go real big boy style, we can go LS9. I said, but if we go LS9 big boy style, then we're going to have to beef up that frame. But if we're going to beef up that frame, then we're going to have to put some coils front and rear. If we're going to put some coils front and rear, I got to stop this baby. So then we're going to have to go with some wheel woods. I'm going to go with some wheel woods. I'm going to go with some 14 inches out of that. So we go through the process. And we're going to talk some more about this car. And so we got to the point where we're designing the car. And this is what it's about. This is the design part. And this is how it works with me and City Classic Cars. It's your dream. We talk about it. We go back and forth. And then all I do is once I capture your dream and you say this is your dream, then I hold you to your dream. I said, baby, this is your dream. This is what you told me. Now let's do this thing. And then my team, we develop that dream. And we're in the process of developing this dream. And we're going to look at the development process of it. And then the final stage is delivery. So it goes from dream to discovery, from discovery and design to development, and from development to final delivery. So we wanted to put 20s on the front. Really, yeah, 20s, maybe 18s, but we wanted 20s or 18s on the car is what we were thinking. And I shared that back to the dreamer of this car. And Mr. Tony said, I like that. I like that concept. I said, I want this car to be a driver. I want it to be a driver. I don't want 24s, 26s. I just, this is what I think in the dream. Then we talked some more. He said, but in my dream, I see 22s and 24s on that thing. I see 22s on the front. I see 22s on the back. I see 22s all around. I said, baby, it's your dream. It's my job to make it happen. Now the car gonna hook up. The car's gonna ride. Because I don't build a car that you can't drive. So come on, let's move to the stand. So the guys are we got a sneak peek. The guys are working. Main man Jason here, what he's putting the front sway bar on. So he's putting the front sway bar on this chassis here right now. And I'll show you some of the parts. The camera can pan some of the things on this car. So when you look at this, there are three parts to this chassis. There's the front side, there's the middle side, and there's the back side. So I'll real quick deal a little bit with the frame. So right here, like I said, this is a unibody. This is not a unibody chassis. So this is the one that we can beef up. So when you look at this chain, we boxed it in to give it some strength. This is the original chassis. We tore it all down. We tore it all apart. We disassembled everything, and then we brought it back. So we tore it all down, and then we boxed everything in from a fabrication perspective. So we boxed everything in on this frame, as you can see here. That gives it some strength. That gives it a greater endurance to handle the engine that we're going with. Now, years ago, back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, everything when you were building a car and the individuals were hot rodding the car, everything was a one-off. Everything had to be custom fabricated, every piece, every bracket, and then everything had to be engineered, and then you had to think about it, and then someone would make you a one-off part, and this would be a one-off, and that would be a one-off, and this would be a one-off, and that would be a one-off, and that would be a one-off, and the cost would be enormous. And then you would have to find this person who's doing all these one-offs, and they can only do one-off at a time, and then what happens is this part breaks. Then the person has to find the note and one-off it again and put it back on. But things have changed now. And with the aftermarket, when I talk about my program, I work with different vendors and different companies who are just as crazy and just as fanatical about me, about building the best cars in the world. And so we have Speed Tech here. So all these components here are my Speed Tech. So Speed Tech sells a kit that beats up the Chevelle frame, that allows it to go beyond 1,000 horsepower. And so that's what you see here. And that has been put in place. It has been fabricated. It saves the customer money. Now, sometimes I talk with clients and I say, I want to go with this product. And then they get sticker shock. The product is $4,000. But man, do you want me to one-off all of this? That's going to be a totally different price. So that's what we have there. Now on the front and on the back, we have Ride Tech. So while Jason is back there, we'll get out of his way real quick. But this is Ride Tech. This is not OEM technology. Now, this is Ride Tech. This is aftermarket. And Ride Tech makes a great product. Now look at this. This is handmade. This is done in the factory. A human did that. Someone looked at that. Someone took time. And now I'm not talking about this piece here, but the unit was put together. Geometry matters. Now I like Ride Tech. I love Detroit Speed as well. Shout out to Cal Tucker. So I like both of them. And so it just depends on the dream and what we're doing and who we use. And sometimes we're competing on products. Who do I use? Do I use Detroit Speed or do I use Ride Tech? Because I love both of them. But on this one, we went for Ride Tech in the front. We went to Ride Tech in the rear, and we like the product here. Now we went with a drop spindle, and the reason we're going with the drop spindle because the drop spindle is about performance. So if you're looking for performance and you think of performance, we got to drop it. We're going to drop it because we want to get down slow. We want the aerodynamics to be as great as we can get it. So we want to drop spindle. It's going to make for a better ride when you start talking about performance. So that's the Ride Tech there. We're going coils. We're always going to go adjustable coils there. So you see Ride Tech there. You see those coils. We're going to do that when we build a chassis. This is what I mean by part of my program. I don't. If you want performance, I don't want to put air ride. I don't want to put an air ride suspension on this. This real quick. You just pan over here really quick. That's air ride. That truck there is air ride. That's fine. That's fine. So that truck there is air ride. But that truck is more of a theme, more of a feel, more of a look, of a sensation. This is about performance, baby. I want to get in this thing. I want to get my foot down on that gas, and I want to hook up and get in and out of that curve. I want to get in and out of that solemn course. I want to hit it. So that's what this is about. All right. So we're gonna go with coils. So if you're building a car at home and you're about performance, I'm going to hold you to your dream. So if you tell me your dream is a performance dream, then we're not going to put no air ride on it. Air ride and performance, that doesn't go together. That's just my opinion. So we're going to use drop spinners. Now, what about the brakes? We're using wheel wood. That's what we use here. We use wheel wood. Now, some guys like Bear, and Bear brakes are great, and we're not saying anything negative about them. But part of my program, I want to use, especially if it's an American-made car, I just like the wheel woods. I just like the wheel woods a little bit better on some of these muscle era cars. Now we went 14-inch 2-piece disc here. Now look at them. They're slotted and they're drilled. Now that's gonna help them cool. Look at that. That's pretty. Now that is not just cosmetic. That's an advancement. That's gonna help that brake caliper cool a little bit better. And when you're dealing with this level of horsepower, we want it to cool. Now, we went with 6-piston wheel wood on the front. I think a single piston would not stop this car. A single piston would slow this car down. We're talking about making about 1,000 horsepower. And a single piston is not going to stop this car, but it's slow it down. I don't want to slow down, I want to stop. And a 2-piston, I think, also would be ineffective. Well, now, I think we could have made it with a 4-piston. I think a 4-piston would stop this car and would handle this car. But if I'm going LS9 and I'm building the dream car that Mr. Tony told me about, I have to go with that 6-piston. Now, is a 6-piston maybe a little bit extra? Maybe it's a little bit excessive. Maybe it's a little bit more than what I need. It might be, but I want a little more brakes than not enough brakes. And so that's what we have there. So that's the front side of this car. What's going on here? Let's take a real quick look at the back side. As you can. When you get on the back side of building a car, now look at this. So here's your opportunity to see. Now we got 4-piston in the back and 6-piston in the front. The reason we have 4-piston in the back and 6-piston in the front is about 70% of your stopping, 65-70% of your stop is going to be in the front. The back is just helping slow you down. It's supporting the front, take some of that strain off the front to balance out the braking, but most of it is done in the front, not in the back. So we can get away with a 4-piston in the back, we went with a 6-piston in the front. But isn't that thing pretty? Sometimes it's just pretty, man. It's just pretty now. Sometimes it's just pretty. And that's just pretty. A lot of technology there, just pretty. Now we keep looking here, and we go with a Fab 9 in the back. We're gonna go with the Fab 9. We don't have a GM product there. We went with a Ford product. Ford by far makes, if you're doing performance, you have to have a Fab 9 on the back. That's just my opinion. What they're running at the track, Jason? Fab 9 on the back, 4 9-inch on the back.
Yeah.
What Mopar running on the back? Dana 6, okay. But you want that 4 9-inch. That's the dragster's rear end, bottom line, huh?
Yeah.
That's the dragster's rear end. If you're talking about going fast, this is your go fast rear end. Now, this is not a Ford 9-inch. It's 4 9-inch concept. This is a Fab 9, and the Fab 9 is a little bit different. Look at it from the back side. Look how pretty that is. It's designed to be pretty. It's designed to be sculpted, and Moser does theirs a little bit different. Strange makes a great one. We do Moser. We're authorized distributors with Moser, and when I need a rear end, come on to work, man. Oh, I thought we were in your way. Well, we can't stop him from working. He's doing his thing. All right, so he put a sway wall on the back as well, and this car is gonna hook up, y'all. It's gonna hook up. It's gonna stop. It's gonna do what it's supposed to do. It's gonna get in and out. And here we go again. Now we got adjustable coils right here. So we want coils. We don't want air ride. We want coils. We don't want the car going up and down. We want to find that premium height, that premium performance. We want to hook these things up. I mean, just look at it. Now the other thing you see on this chassis, and I love it. I can kiss that thing. That thing, they're pretty. You know what I mean? So this chassis here, it was sent out for powder coating. It was sent out for powder coating. So we do the fabrication. We tear it down. We do all the fabrication. Our program consists of the right cars, the right aftermarket partners and manufacturers to take this project to the next level. Then once we do that, we do all of our welding, we do all of our plating, we do all of our boxing, we get everything true, we get everything right. Then we send it out, and we have it powder coated. So once it's the powder coated, takes this, sand blasted all down, and then once it's sand blasted, then they want to put that hot gloss. So then they put that pretty, I mean, look at that, isn't that beautiful? So this is where Restomod begins. This is what it's about. This is where it goes. Now I got one more thing to talk to you about. I'll do it on the next video, but just look at that chassis there, presented by City Class Cars.